All right, thank you for staying. Daybreak State of the Nation starts right now. We're speaking about SHA, the abductions and the responsibility, and the 2027 realignments. My guests are with me already. Honorable Jane Kagiri, Laikipia Woman Rep, thank you for making time. Honorable Ruben Kiborek, Member of Parliament for Mogotio, thank you very much for making time. Honorable Ruben Kigame, former presidential candidate, thank you for making time. And Willis Otieno, Deputy Party Leader, Safina, thank you very much for making time. Let's take a look at the front pages of the Daily Nation and also on the Standard. But let's start off with the SHA issue on the front page of the Daily Nation. SHA rot exposed as patients storm the ministry. Tempers flare at the Ministry of Health as frustrated patients, including families with children, storm the boardroom meeting to express their dissatisfaction with the Social Health Authority. In order of attendance, Willis, I'll start with you. Is this SHA program working or not?
You know, the sweetness of a pudding is in the eating. And as it is now, it's no longer those of us pundits on media who are talking about it, but you're seeing patients coming out to express their frustrations. So you cannot say that SHA is working when the ultimate consumers are out here telling you their frustrations with the system. Kenyatta National Hospital itself had to issue a statement, despite the fact that we will expect a statement from SHA itself. But Kenyatta National Hospital issued a statement confirming that for 2 days they've had a downtime. The unfortunate bit is that as we pontificate, there are people here who are dying. There are patients who deserve care. Patients who need critical attention that are not able to get these services just because of an administrative failure by Kenya Kwanza through the SHA system. If, and I've always said this, if they felt the need that SHA was going to be a better deal, why did they spend time on a better transition mechanism that will ensure that the redundancy period from moving from NHIF to SHA does not cause even a single patient agony? They don't care. And look at even what they're charging and the quality of care that you're getting in return. There are people within the SHA system who are going to be paying almost 100,000 Kenya shillings per year. Some even up to as high as 200,000 Kenya shillings. But when it comes to quality of care, mediocre. Those who they try to gaslight that are going to pay 300 Kenya shillings, how many Kenyans are qualifying to pay 300 Kenya shillings? Majority of Kenyans who don't even work. My own grandmother, who is almost 90 years old, is paying 750. Why? I don't know how they've done the assessment of her house and status. Now she's paying 750 Kenya shillings. When before, she qualified almost at a song when she was under NHIF.
Okay.
So, in my view, SHA has not worked, and those who are attending to patients are able to tell this story. But let's also say this. We've seen instances when people go out to say, I intervened, and SHA was able to pay. Not everybody can access Dennis Itumbi for crying out loud to say that if you have a problem, you have Dennis Itumbi will intervene and you'll be paid. SHA will pay, will clear your bill. Kenyans should be able to access a system without knowing anybody in high place. Okay. And the system should stop selling the few cases where they intervened and the cost was paid. Okay.
Kigame, is that a fair assessment of the SHA system? Because they in their own admission, they say they've done 21,000 oncology sessions and paid for 8 kidney transplants, and also they've given about 8 billion shillings in payments to hospitals. Is it fair to say that SHA is not working, or is that a bias sort of approach?
It's not just not working. SHA will never work because it's a con system. It was not lack of a system. NHIF was working. If it had problems, we needed to fix NHIF. Every time you see someone introduce something new where there has been a pre-existing system, that is outright conmanship. It's the same with the 844 system transition to CBC. It's a conmanship. Every time you see a system that, has operated and somebody comes up and dismantles instead of making it better, you are dealing with con artists. And Ruto and his henchmen are nothing but con artists. When you hear people shout at a midnight hour in a bar, that Ruto must go. You know, people never used to do that. When you see young children, when you see patients storm, you know, a health, office like they did, they're telling you something. The problem is, if you don't listen, then the issue, progresses from being a health issue. But at the back of all this, Trevor, is a total system failure. If you are sick and your head is not functioning, your chest has issues, you can't walk, your tummy has issues, that's what the Kenya government looks like now. And we just don't know what next will fail tomorrow. And so I hold the view that we need to go right back to character-driven leadership. That is what is ailing our country. We want leaders without character. In fact, if you are without it, you seem to attract the center. But we have to turn that around. And it doesn't begin with those leaders, it begins with citizens. My problem is always the citizens. Mm-hmm. How do we keep, you just see somebody start this new system and you say, ni sawa tu ni mkubwa, ni wetu.
Yeah.
I need to just, let me just hitchhike on something that maybe most of you may not be able to bring out. Yeah. And this is it. I graduated the same year with President Ruto from university, undergrad. Mm-hmm. He was at the University of Nairobi. I was at KU. I was in school with Matiang'i. I was in school with Ojamong, Rachel Ruto. All these people are known to me.
Yeah.
I'm 9 months older than Ruto. So when you see me come out and speak about, say, an education system that does not work, in our days it worked, and he knows that. The health system worked. It was not the best, but it worked. So if you come to office and you know the difference, you saw the difference, you benefited from the difference, then you make everybody in the country miserable. You don't just need to go.
Yeah.
You don't deserve to be anywhere near leadership. And Ruto, Oscar Sudi, the Farah Malims, and all these people think that the Almighty owes them something. I have news for them. Even young children now know better. And if you kill these people who are, cancer patients, you kill people that have kidney issues, you kill people that can't find services,
yeah,
their blood is on you.
Okay.
And I need to be as strong as that.
Okay.
That we can't let that go on. We shouldn't let it go on.
All right. Kagiri, you deal with the people most of the time. Is this system working for them or not?
Thank you, Trevor. First, let me say Happy New Year. It's my first time to be on the studio this year. And I would want to start by saying it's very easy to criticize a system when you know yourself you're safe. I'm looking at this table, the panel seated here, and I know each one of us has a medical card somewhere hidden in their pocket. So it's very easy to say SHA is not working, but you wonder what happens to the majority who don't have that medical card. And I want to start by saying SHA is working. Reason being, we had NHIF, which I agree Ruben has said was working and we should not have changed it. But it is important to note that NHIF was serving 20% of the community. Yet 70% of the community is the one that needs services at level 1 and level 2 hospitals. When I say level 1 and level 2 hospitals, I'm talking about dispensaries and health facilities. I look at an example of a place like Laikipia, where we have the hospitals that NHIF was catering for, was Nanyuki, Nyahururu, and Rumuruti. We would have a person have to travel kilometers away from their home to go maybe because of a stomachache or a headache. Today with SHA, that person doesn't need to travel. They'll just walk to the nearest dispensary near them, get treated, SHA will apply, and they can go back home. They've saved on transport, they've saved on time. Number two, I would want to also state that it's very unfortunate that we had the challenges that we had at Kenyatta National Hospital. Because as a parent, I would imagine your child is sick and you're desperately in need of treatment, which you cannot get. I would want also to state that my background is computer science. And nobody should ever assume that any system is proof enough for it not to go down. So in one circumstance or another, a system will go down. And I believe that is what happened, and KNH came out and apologized for that. What I would want to state here is that if any one of us today got sick and went to a hospital, Trevor, the first point of charge on your card would be your SHA. So for us who have already gotten medical cover, why do we want to mislead those people who don't have medical cover? Because this person goes to a shop, buys bread, buys unga, buys all the other things. They are taxed for those things. The tax they pay, why do we want to cheat them into not enlisting to be on the SHA program, use their taxes to take care of their health, whereas as we know automatically, by virtue of where we work, by virtue of our form of medical cover, as we are already covered by SHA. So why do we want to mislead those people? I would also want to state something. Before with NHIF, we didn't have certain covers on NHIF. Let's say the dental, let's say the optical. I look at a county like mine. We have a constituency like Laikipia North. I would almost want to say like 70% of my people there have cataract issues on their eyes. Picture if NHIF used to cover eye, these people would not be having those problems. These are people who would not be needing to be planning for medical camps for them to come and be removed for the cataracts. The other point I would want to state on SHA. Yeah. We've watched many people experience accidents on Thika Road, on Mombasa Road, or wherever. Before, you'd have to be rushed to Kenyatta National Hospital because that is the hospital that would accept you. Today, under the SHA program, you can stop at any hospital. The hospital will treat you, and the hospital will charge SHA afterwards, after you've already received your treatment. Again, those are the very many benefits that we are not telling our people. Initially with NHIF, we had EduAfya, where it only used to cater for students in secondary schools. Yeah. Today with SHA, you have your 7-year-old in the house, you're sure that child is catered for. You have your 8-year-old, you have your 10-year-old, you're sure all the children in your household are catered for under the SHA program. Okay. Trevor, it's good for us to tell Kenyans that it is working. Yesterday, I spoke to a boda rider from a county, and he was telling me, Mheshimiwa, I've been quiet because I got a boda accident, but I did not disturb you because SHA catered for my whole bill at that point. So it's good we tell the good as well as the bad. But what I must admit, this is work going on, and we'll just keep on improving it as we get the complaints.
So it's work in progress. Yes. Kiborek?
Thank you, Trevor. Yeah. Among these members, I'm privileged to sit in the Health Committee in Parliament.
Yes.
And we came up with bills concerning SHA. And I want to tell you, Trevor, the biggest challenge we have in this country is pessimism and trust deficit.
Pessimism and trust deficit.
Yes. Okay. Over time, build over time. Well, since independent, by governments over time since independent, that people sees everything from an angle which Ruben Kigame does. That maybe this thing came because someone wanted to do 1-2. One thing for sure is that we are hearing in our TVs and our media rooms and our newspaper negative stories about SHA. If today I was to task you and Royal Media to go and look for positive stories about SHA, you will be amazed how people are personally being affected positively by the SHA. Yesterday, I sat with someone who contributes 50,000 to SHA monthly, one of the premium contributors, depending on their salary. And she gave me 2 examples. One, she had a cousin of ours who got a jaw accident. She had a fight with, those things. She got a jaw accident. She got a jaw, fractured jaw, and then she was taken to Kenyatta to be redone by the surgeon. And the bill was 200,000. And she told me, to be honest, I paid 1,500 of all the bill because she was the one to take care because it was a cousin. She had her own house girl who gave birth. The bill was about 70,000. She paid, I think, 50-something. SHA paid 50-something thousand. She had to pay about 15,000. Those are true stories of what happened with SHA. And many people have testimonies. We have small teething problems, like any other new system. When someone says there was no need to move from NHIF to SHA, it's so unfair. The problem with NHIF was systemic. The problem with NHIF was the DNA. It belonged to civil servants. You could not do anything. As much as we patched, we kept patching since independence. It was started in 1968. Since then, they've been being patched. It reached a point that you can no longer patch it because you cannot change the DNA of something like NHIF. Now with SHA, the teething problem we still have only one major problem on the chronic disease because it's supposed to be funded from Exchequer. I think when we go for when we go for supplementary, we'll do something from our end as health committee to make sure that we push more money to the chronic disease cover and the benefits of the chronic disease that include cancer and what have you. But the rest, I can assure you that it is working. The system is still new. The problems are teething. But if you look at the we have 17 million, almost 17. We are almost clicking 17 million members. NHIF was stuck at 4 million. You know, these are facts, these are numbers, which, you know, these are data, that it is almost getting to 17 million. And initially, NHIF was at 4-point-something million. That is a positive response from the people. That's a positive response from the ground. The only thing we need to work is working with the counties to strengthen the primary health care. Because when we made SHA, the DNA of SHA was based on the referrals, from the primary health care all the way to the referrals. That we need to make sure that we have drugs in our dispensaries. We have drugs in our level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, so that someone can go and be his problem being sorted in level 2 or level 3, so that you don't need to go to referral for a problem which can be sorted in a dispensary. So what we need to do, and we are working with our governors and KEMSA, and we are making sure that KEMSA is recapitalized so that it is able to dispatch drugs on time to the dispensaries and to the local hospital, so that we don't need to take, you don't need to take a problem which will be sorted in level 3 to referral hospital like Kenyatta. Secondly, I have had, like, you know, someone said even CBC, there was no need to change, it was working for us. It's unfair. I must call out Ruben Kagame for calling leadership of this country con artist, because he knows CBC was not started by this current regime. It started in the previous regime. Okay. What this government came was to embrace it and make it work. You should be telling people that President William Ruto has employed 76,000 teachers, because this CBC had no teacher. There was no teachers in the classroom. William Ruto has done grade 8 almost to a tune of 60-70%. I'm speaking as a member of parliament, that we have classes being built for we are in that band, I think almost getting to that quarter, almost a quarter, 3/4 of grade 8 classes being built across the country. In all constituencies, in all villages, there is classes, grade 9 class being built by President William Ruto for our grade 9 learners.
But there's still
76,000. Yes, there's 76,000 teachers who have been employed to make the CBC work. And it was started by a previous regime. Ruben Kagame was in this country. He did not come here to call it out. He coming to call out someone who has embraced it. It's so unfair.
Okay, so, but for the record, the NHIF numbers,
why don't I give record?
That's why I say it is adding to 17. No. That's why I said 16 million, adding to 17 million.
Those are the ones who are transferred to SHIF now. So
no, 11, no, NHIF numbers.
There were 16 million, only 7 million were active. 16 million have now been transferred to SHA. That's why the numbers are at 17 million. This is an admission by the ministry itself.
You are including the dependents, which is okay. What we are saying, there's principal members. Okay. What I'm saying is, you have to, Trevor, 1 minute to clarify there, because you have said it. You know,
his right of reply.
Yes, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
And there's right.
When I said it was for almost 5 million members, those were the principal members. You are adding plus the beneficiaries get to 16 million. Okay. Because there's dependents and there's many other things. Okay.
Kagame wanted a right of response. Then I'll come to you, Willis and Kagiri.
Yeah, so 2 things. First of all, my namesake here admits that we have a trust deficit.
And pessimism.
And pessimism.
Yeah.
I'll only address the trust deficit, because for me, of course, the glass is half full, half empty is nowhere at this point. If we have inherited a trust deficit, what we need to fix is trust. And you can't label questions about accountability as pessimism and, you know, a consequence of nothing but a trust deficit. You've got to deal with it. Now, the other thing is, if you look at President William Ruto as the current president, and you blame the previous system, that is the Uhuru government, and then delink Ruto from the Uhuru government, you are not a reasonable person, because he was deputizing that very system. And so whether CBC was introduced in this system or the last system is not here nor there. The issue is if the problem is systemic, whether it's in CBC or you're dealing with the health sector, and he admits that the problem is systemic, then you fix the system. You don't introduce a new, because I would want them to also lay down, Madam here would like to deal with data. So if you would lay down for us what it would cost to fix 844, for example, or what it would cost to fix NHIF, if you lay those cards on the table, then we can agree on whether NHIF needed a revamp or we needed a totally new system to be in place.
Yeah. Okay. Willis, then Adam.
Let me say this. Yeah. It's quite disheartening to listen to the Kenya Kwanza choir as they speak, because they try to reduce this conversation to be about numbers. I'm not even saying that Kenyans are not enrolled in SHA. They have. So the question of 17 million or 10 million in NHIF is immaterial. We are saying, even if you've enlisted 40 million Kenyans, what is the quality of care that they are receiving, those who are in? You see, they are so consumed with competition and contests that they think because I have more numbers, now my system is working. We are simply saying, those who are within your system, the 17 million number that you're running around town with, are you giving them quality healthcare services? And when you ask that question, all they tell you is that my driver called me, my friend called me here. Why is that only those who call you, who have access to you, are able to tell good stories about SHA? I'm talking about a majority of Kenyans who are facing and dealing with critical healthcare challenges today and don't need to call the Mheshimiwa here or call Mheshimiwa Ruben to be able to tell a good story. I want that Kenyan who cannot access, my grandmother, who doesn't know how to use a phone, who cannot call anybody to tell how good it was for her, who can only say, if you meet her, that I went to hospital and this was my experience. SHIF SHA was paid. And when you talk about trust deficit in this country, there's nothing about trust deficit. Kenyan people are woke. Kenyan people are learned. What we have that we must accept is mediocrity of leadership. And that mediocrity of leadership is what the Kenyan people are calling out. Because if it was a question of trust deficit, that Kenyans are pessimists, we are just complainers, we are not complainers. We don't create the facts that inform the misadventure of Kenya Kwanza. They create those facts. And when we call them out, they should not say that we are pessimists, we have a trust deficit. We are simply responding to the mediocrity of leadership that this regime is serving the people of Kenya. And then finally, let me say this. When it comes to questions of healthcare, we can pontificate about other things, even education, we can pontificate. Yeah. But this is someone's life. Some of these kidney dialysis patients who are not able to get services. That mother who was yesterday had to walk from Kenyatta Hospital to go and storm the press briefing by the CS Health. It was not because she wanted to create drama. This is somebody who is going through frustrations. These are life and death matter. People have died. He says that we have comprehensive healthcare services. I challenge these members of parliament, these ones here, who are paid by taxpayers' money. These ones who, if they get a cough, they are sent to South Africa for a cold. I want to challenge them to all drop their comprehensive healthcare services that they cover that they have in parliament and all register in SHA and drop the private healthcare services. Because even what accommodates them is paid for by that poor mother who could not get services in Kenyatta. And yet then, if Kiborek here gets a cold, Kiborek will be flown to South Africa tomorrow in the morning, just for treating a cold. Yet you are that young boy who are being told had swallowed a coin and was not able to get surgical services, just right here in Kenyatta. But Kiborek will go to South Africa for a cold. This is conmanship. This is misleading the people of Kenya. You cannot be benefiting from public coffers, and then when you are given a national platform like this to discuss critical issues affecting the people of Kenya, you end up trying to gaslight and to mislead. Right. We have to reject this conmanship.
Okay, I have to take a quick break, but Kagiri, I'll give you a right of response. Really
no, thank you.
It is we'll come back.
No,
we still have time.
Allow me to complete. First, Willis, it's good to clarify that we are not in a choir. We are actually employed to serve people. And in fact, I want to just confirm to you that my choir is growing, my choir of the good deeds that SHA is doing. And allow me to read this message. Hesh, good morning. Our secretary wa church, Rachel's son, got an accident. SHA paid 170,000. Then he was released. It would have been tough on us. Number 2, Mutuma's uncle, brother to dad, was unwell and unfortunately died. But SHA paid the 200,000. I have spoken to many people. They have not registered, especially the ones that are against SHA. Allow me to read the second one. On Monday, a patient at Nanyuki Teaching and Referral Hospital was fully paid in by SHA for ovarian cyst surgery. SHA catered for 103,000 shillings. Everything, and this is a case that they would have had to sell a cow. What I would want to tell my dear brother Willis, it's unfortunate that you want to push us to join in your song of that SHA is not working. We deal with people on a daily basis. My phone is open. I can receive as many messages of how SHA is working or it's not working. The messages that have instantly come to my phone this morning are messages confirming that it is working. Trevor, let me say, I'm beginning to feel very sad for our country because we've gotten to a point where people wish for things to fail. And yet you are living in the same country. I keep wondering, how do you wish for a bus to fall? And you're riding in that same bus. How do we go to church every Sunday to pray for our country, Kenya? But on Monday morning, you are wishing for all its the programs that the government has to fail. What I would want to clearly state is that for me, in fact, previously before joining Parliament, I was on NHF. I delivered my baby on 31st July 2021 under NHF. So me, I would be very free to use SHA, very free to use NHF, and that is why I fight for my people, because I know I would want my people to get equivalent service to what myself I'm receiving. Thank you.
All right, I'll take a quick break, commercial break. We're going to come back now. We still have 2 more topics to talk about. I'll give Ruben Kiborek a chance of response, and then we move on to the next topic because we'll keep responding after the end. I'll show you in just a bit. Stay with Citizen TV's State of the Nation.